Hi guys, Pastor Becca here. I'm so glad you could join me for our first ever online child safety training for Warm Beach Camp. And I'm really excited to share some fresh information with you. Our child safety standards, our rules and expectations have actually changed a lot over the years. So you might find some information in here that's new or surprising from what you've known in the past from what we do. And I know I've learned a lot. We actually follow the North Shore School District child safety standards. So if you have follow-up questions that you'd like to ask me, I would love to share with you some new ways we're doing child safety compared to how we did it in the church in the 80s or 90s or early 2000s. So thank you so much for joining me in our child safety video. The first thing I want you guys to know about child safety is how to call 911. And when you call 911, I want you also to try and find me. You can call me on my cell phone or try and find me somewhere at camp. But at Warm Beach Camp, if an emergency comes up, take a deep breath and know it's on you. This is your time to act. This is your time to make sure the kids are okay. So you send a kid to go find me. You find someone with a cell phone or you find your own. You take it out, you unlock it, you dial 911, and the 911 dispatcher will talk you through what to do. They might say, you know what, thank you for calling. It sounds like this is something you can actually handle on your own. Or they might say, thank you so much for calling. We'll get an ambulance out to you right away. Or here's the nearest hospital I'd like you to head towards. They'll give you directions and talk you through. So the first thing you do, if there's an emergency where you're wondering, this seems serious, what should I do? Try and call 911, get a hold of me. And when you call 911 from Warm Beach, let them know we're at Warm Beach Camp on the mainland, because sometimes the cell phone signals there actually bounce off the islands and they're not sure where to send help. So let them know we're at Warm Beach Camp and Conference Center. Then come and find me. I will help administer first aid and make sure the kids are safe, that we're attending to the child who's in danger in the best way possible. And I just want everyone to know it's okay if you're worried, what should I do? It's okay to call 911. So we want to make sure we always err on the side of child safety, because child safety is a top priority for us here at Washington Cathedral. So here's some other things you may not know about child safety that are different than what we used to do in the past. In the old days, we used to do boys can see boys, girls can see girls, so we just change our clothes in the cabins. That's not our standard anymore. We do things very differently. It's so important that we all change our clothes in the bathrooms. So that goes for leaders and kids. We want to make sure we're never seeing a child naked. They're never seeing us naked. So we change our clothes in the bathrooms. The kids are often a little bit not sure what to do. They're kind of testing boundaries because they're in a new place coming to a camp. So we just always remind kids, like, oh, it looks like you're wanting to change your clothes in your sleeping bag. We change our clothes in the bathroom. Go right ahead and do it the right way, okay? So we make sure that we aren't interacting with kids that are naked. They always go to the bathroom and change their clothes in a private stall. There's lots of stalls. It's not an issue as long as we remind them and they know what to do. The other thing that might be a little bit counterintuitive is to avoid teasing. So this is an age when kids start to get really self-conscious about their bodies. And as leaders, sometimes we want to connect with the kids through play. So we might be like, hey, shorty, or, oh, you're so cute and little. And they might be smiling, but then later they feel like, oh, am I different? Is there something wrong with me? So just avoid teasing kids, particularly about their bodies, so that they're never felt put down or insecure, that we just keep it positive and affirm kids for their uniqueness and how great they are. This is our number one thing that I want you to take away from this child safety video. This is the most important thing. Are you ready? Never be one-on-one with a child. This is the most important thing. Never be one-on-one with a child. I'll say it one more time. Never be one-on-one with a child. So our goal is to have multiple kids with multiple adults. It's not always possible, so at least take along some extra kids or invite another leader to join you. But you don't want any kids to be able to accuse you of anything that's unfair, and you don't want a kid to be made to feel uncomfortable either by being one-on-one with you. And it's just our standard. There's never a compromise for that. So if you see someone going off, we do full transparency. You're more than welcome to say, like, oh, do you need me to join you? I see you're about to be one-on-one with a child. We encourage that. In fact, I beg you, I beseech you, please speak up. That's so important for all of us. And you can even call me out. I welcome it. Please, if you see me like going off to get a Band-Aid with a kid and I'm not paying attention, I don't realize I'm about to be one-on-one with them. You say, "Oh, can I come along?" And I'll realize like, bing, bing, bing. Oh yeah, I'm not supposed to be one-on-one with a kid. And so this is something we all speak up frequently about. If I say to you like, "Oh, make sure you're not one-on-one with a kid," I'm not trying to make you feel like you're doing a bad job as a camp counselor. I'm trying to encourage you and help you be the best camp counselor you can be. And I invite you to do the same thing for me. So please, please, please know to never be one-on-one with a child. Even if they're tired and they're wanting to go to bed early, they need to wait till there's multiple kids, multiple adults, or make other kids go to bed and your co-leader come with you early. But we're not going to be one-on-one with a kid ever. That's just our standard. So the other thing I want you to know is to praise all the kids. So don't single out one kid as like your special kid. We treat all kids with praise. We treat all kids with equal connection and affirmation. So there's never this like secret relationship, never this buddy-buddy relationship. We just love all the kids. If we write a note to one kid to encourage them, we write a note to every kid. If we give one kid a compliment, we look to give every kid a compliment at some point so that we're giving all kids kind of equal attention, connection, and praise. Also, when you are giving attention, seek to give attention to kids of the same gender. When people get accused of things, typically men get accused the most, so you should just be aware of that you're more susceptible. So you need to be extra careful in how you give connection and attention to kids. And we try to have you focus on the kids in your own cabin to really connect with them and get to know them and build relationships with them. In terms of touch, we let kids initiate touch. So we never say like, "Give me a hug," because that can feel commanding and overpowering. It can make them lose a sense of their own voice. But if they come to us and say, "Can I have a hug?" You can say, "Sure." And you give them a brief hug, not a long, lingering one, or a side hug is great. And we also don't have kids just sitting directly on our laps. If they're first grade and under and they're of the same gender and they're kind of on one knee, that could be appropriate. But by the time they get to 3rd, 4th, 5th grade, they really shouldn't be sitting on laps anymore. Same goes for even like piggyback rides. If a child like sprains their ankle and you need to carry them back, do what you got to do. But we try to just have appropriate touch with kids, saying, "Would you like a high five?" or a brief side hug. If they're a boy, a pat on the shoulder, but avoiding a pat on the shoulder if they're a girl, because a lot of times they've just hit puberty and they're wearing a bra for the first time, and a touch on the shoulder or back can feel sexual to them in nature, or just uncomfortable or intimidating, or make them feel self-conscious. So the main thing I want you guys to take away from this video is never be one-on-one with a child, and know that we honor full transparency. And I want us to be able to have open dialogues. As I see things at camp, I'm the type of camp director who says something, and you should just expect that. I will let you know, like, "Oh, we don't, I don't know." It kind of depends on the situation. But if I see something that I think is a little bit in the gray, I'll let you know, "That's a little bit gray. Let's kind of get more towards something that's a little more appropriate." And it varies by ages what's appropriate, and so just be paying attention to age, to gender, to cultural customs. In some cultures it's offensive to touch a kid on their head, and so that's why we let kids kind of initiate touch, and we look to connect with them through our words, through maybe a note of encouragement, through play, for a gift for all the kids in the cabin. And to pray for them and let them feel loved. So those are our main child safety standards. I'll have a first aid kit available in the lobby. I'll have all the kids' medical information. When we get to camp, I'll debrief you on any allergies we need to be paying attention to, if any kids are there with an EpiPen, and we'll go through some of those more fine details at the camp. But I wanted you to become familiar first with our most important issues of child safety, such as never be one-on-one with a child. Thank you so much for joining me, and God bless you.